Hey, yo, Silver Surfer has been a force in this meta for quite a while now. Today, we're going to break down what I think is the best Silver Surfer deck, as well as some pretty key substitutions you could make if you do not have these cards in this list. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So Silver Surfer is a 3-2 that gives +2 power to all other 3-cost cards on the board. This card's been predominant in the meta since it first came out. Originally, it was +3 power to your cards. Now it is +2 power. I mean, for at least a year and a half now. But this list continues to evolve dependent on what the meta is currently active with. And I feel like it just stays true to itself. And with the Death of Leech, which it is the Death of Leech, from a couple weeks ago, maybe over a month ago now, this deck just continues to be powerful. This list right here we're showcasing is the same exact list Woody used to win the tournament with a couple adjustments, so maybe not the same exact list. But we're going to talk about some adjustments you can make in this list, and I'm going to go step by step on what I think the best playlands are. So here is the deck on screen. You're using your Hope Summers instead of the Sarah package now to enable you to get some better lines, extra power even prior to turn 6, to enable you to be able to steal some games. It feels just really solid with the Cassandra Nova into Arishem, Killmonger for all the Zoo situations, Shaw to be able to go big and vertical in some of these lanes you just may need extra power, Copycat to be able to steal the card's abilities. It just feels overall just super solid. We're going to jump through and break down each card individually, and then I'm going to give you guys some thorough substitutions as well. So starting off, of course, we have Nova. Nova, you're going to get +1 power to all of your other cards on the board. You're using this more as maybe your turn 1 play. Maybe you're using it a little bit later, but it's pretty much just only to be able to get Killmonger to give you some extra power. If this hits your Shaw, you know, your Shaw gets +3 instead of just +1. It just gives you overall a lot of horizontal power across the board. It's a typical card you're going to see in your Surfer list overall. And then, of course, you also have Forge. Forge gives the next card you play +2 power. You play this on your Broods. Your Broods become a 3-4, and then you Absorb Man, so then you have a total of 5 different Broods on the board that also have 4 power, which is a really good start for your game as well. That's kind of just like one of the main lines you do is just, you know, Forge into your Brood, into your Absorbing Man, or you could Forge, honestly, into your Shaw. Then your Shaw actually gets +4 power because he gets +2 whenever he gains power. You could do it onto a Nocturne and make Nocturne a 3-6, just so you have some extra power there on the board as well. Just Forge is kind of, you know, versatile. You're normally wanting to use this with the Broods, but it does not hurt to use it on a Shaw as well. Next, you have Cassandra Nova. Like I was saying, you're running into a lot of Arishem right now, so you're using Cassandra Nova to get some extra power into Arishem. It's also just a good card overall, with a premium stat line getting to at least like a 3-6 if you're playing her on curve, 3-5 if you play her on like turn 4, 3-4 if you play her on turn 5. Which is still overall really exciting, and like if you play it with like, you know, against Arishem, it gets like 22 power or even more depending on like locations and everything too. Overall, just a good card if you don't have Cassandra Nova. Like most of these cards in this list, go for tech options. This right here are going to be the substitutions for you guys. If you don't have Cassandra Nova, if you don't have a Hope Summers, if you don't have a Nocturne, you don't have a Sebastian Shaw, go Red Guardian. Go Mobius. There's so much discounting right now. Definitely that is another good option. You could do even a Rogue if you're facing a lot of ongoing. So, like, the list goes on and on. As we go to the 3 costs, let me go ahead and pull them up on screen. I think some of the most key 3 costs you could be running in this list right now are, you have Sage. Sage could just give you some extra vertical power if you're looking to have that on the board as well. Even a Wolfsbane, if you don't have Sage, gives you a +6 if you have 3 other cards in the lane. I would go maybe like Rogue was like I was saying too. Maybe you want to do some clog to your opponent. You want to keep them from drawing cards. Maybe you do a Black Widow. Probably not my key sub there, but I definitely would think the Sage, a Rogue. I think potentially even Cosmo's not the worst shout you could do as well. Wolfsbane. Mobius is incredible because there's so many cards just getting discounted and everything right now. You could even do a Fastos. Fastos is a little cheeky too to get some extra power or to decrease the cost of your cards. Speed, if you want some set power, you're playing stuff on curve. Speed enables you to just be able to get extra power on the board. Makari is a card that flies on the board by herself, enables you to kind of just get extra power there without having to play an extra card. You could even, if you wanted to do some extra tempo kind of things, you could do potentially Polaris to move cards around. Viper if you're facing a lot of clog. Like I'm saying, like these 3 costs in this list are very flexible, giving you either extra power, even like a Gladiator and stuff. So when you're looking into Surfer, you kind of just play around what is in your current meta, which that's why the list I have right here is what I think is best for the overall meta, but you could totally do those substitutions as well.
Like I was saying earlier, too, with the Broods. You add Broodlings to your side of the board as well. That is 2 extra cards. If the Brood gets buffed by a Gwenpool, those Broodlings also get that same power as the Brood, which is just super key to be able to scale vertically, like I was saying. And then, of course, the Silver Surfer. You're hitting all of these cards pretty much in this list. You're not hitting your Forge, your Nova, Absorbing Man, or Gwenpool. But you're going to a Surfer into an Absorbing Man final turn with Hope Summers. Or if you have a Limbo, you're being able to do Surfer and Absorbing Man final turn. So, like, you just have a bunch of different options, which is what makes this list so good, because your opponent's always guessing, do they have a Surfer? Do they have this? Do they have that? Because there's so many different tech options. Maybe you're playing Killmonger on this list because you're facing a lot of Zoo. And you're playing Killmonger, honestly, sometimes on curve, if there's a lot of 1-drops on the board. Not always. I think saving Killmonger also is really solid, especially if your opponents do have a lot of 1-drops. Of course, be wary of Kyera. You do not get the Killmonger value against Kyera. But this can be a really just solid tech card for you. But you're using this mainly with Nova on like a final turn situation with your Silver Surfer to be able to maximize your power output on the final turn. And then you have Hope Summers in this list. With Hope Summers, you're playing cards onto Hope Summers to be able to have extra energy going into next turn. You're playing this onto Hope Summers onto turn 5. Maybe you're playing a Nocturne. Maybe you're playing a Forge. Maybe you're playing a Gwenpool. But just to be able to have 7 energy going into your final turn. That's why you're able to play a Absorbing Man and a Surfer, or you're able to play a Killmonger, Nova, and Surfer. Just having extra power and having extra energy going into this final turn is really solid. Even going into a turn 5 with 6 energy allows you to play 2 of these 3-cost cards to be able to set up your turn 6 play to be even better. And then you have Nocturne in this. Nocturne is usually, she used to be a 3/5, used to be even better. But you still have great value in Nocturne. People are still running magic. You're able to turn off locations. You're able to turn off locations that are affecting your opponent to help them win. Extra turns for your opponent. So this is a very good card to be able to play mind games with your opponent. They don't know if you're going to move Nocturne or not. Something they have to account for when they go into their final plays as well. And like I was saying with Sebastian Shaw, whenever this card gets power, it gets +2 power as well. So if it gets 1 extra power, it gets 3 extra power actually. If it gets 2 extra power, it's actually 4 extra power. So it's a very vertical threat your opponents do have to be wary of. And next we have Copycat. Copycat steals the bottom text of a card of your opponent's deck, gives you some intel what your opponent's playing, it gives you some extra value, potentially be able to use that ability to benefit you as well. It's just super solid, very incredible tech card as well, or utility card, whichever you like to call it. And then we also have Absorbing Man over here. Absorbing Man to be able to copy your Surfer, to be able to copy your Killmonger maybe, copy your Brood, copy your Gwenpool. It just enables you copy Forge if you want to, just to continue to scale vertically. It's a very good utility / tech card as well. And then you have Gwenpool. So you have Gwenpool in this list. You're playing it onto your Hope Summers in order to boost the rest of your cards in your hand. If Shaw does get hit with this 2 power, it's actually +4 power. Shaw can get hit multiple times, and your Shaw gets absolutely massive. So you're dropping a nuke of a Shaw onto the board. This list, of course, does not have Sarah, but you guys could totally run a Sarah iteration. You would probably take out your Hope Summers to put in Sarah. That would be one of the 1-for-1 swaps you totally could do. In this list, I've been seeing that iteration as well. Or if you want to take out a 4-drop for another 3-drop, you could totally do whatever is best for you and what you are facing in your meta. This deck list is very flexible because 3-drops are very abundant and they kind of vary depending on what your pocket meta is. But that is going to be the gist of our Surfer list over here. We're going to jump right into some gameplay. Let me know down below. We've talked about what your favorite 3-cost is. Let me know, are you guys a fan of Gwenpool? Yes or no? Or would you think the old school Sarah iteration is better than the Gwenpool iteration? Let me know down in the comments below. We're going to jump right into some gameplay, and I'll see you guys at the end of the video. All right, we are heading into game number 1 over here. Got some Arcana things, which means we're not playing Nova in the left lane, if you guys. Okay, we got Arishem, and we got Copycatted at the very start of the game. Love that for us. Let's see if we can make this work. Hopefully we get like a Forge or something for these Broodlings. Cassandra Nova can actually win Asgard for us here against Arishem, so I'm here for that. Loki on curve. How about that one? Okay. Still got some good Cassandra value here. They never have Shang-Chi, so we always just make this work, right? And they have Nick Fury. So their hand is full, so I get even more Cassandra value. And then I'm going to go Absorbing Man. Get some extra power here as well, which means I get my draws. Polaris and Copycat. They're full middle. So I just win the middle lane now. Copycat was just created by Loki, too. I'm literally just going to play Gwenpool on the right. And then I have Shaw and Surfer to mess around with. Or let me play Gwenpool left. And then I can play Shaw and Surfer on the left as well and be safe. Look at that. All right. Shaw and then Surfer. Cool. And then, or in this situation, honestly, I think they play some either Aliyah things. So I'm going to play Shaw on the right. And I'm going to play Surfer here in the middle. If they play Absorbing Man, they get +6 power in the middle. They go to 33. We have to kind of figure this out a little bit. Okay. I'm actually going to go Shaw left into, or Shaw middle into Surfer right, maybe? I don't know. We kind of got to wiggle around this a little bit. If I instead do, because Surfer middle gives me 32, they would get +6 with an Absorbing Man, which they would have had to have just drawn it. I think I'm going to go this way into this on the left. And they would retreat. Okay, so we just had the extra power. The Gwenpool was really solid. Never a doubt. But they kind of limited their draws there with Nick Fury. So good for us. Good first game. All right, we're heading into game number 2, and we actually have a pretty solid starting hand. We get Erisham again, to no surprise, which is why, like I was saying, we have Cassandra Nova in this list, because there's just Erisham everywhere. We are going to forge into this far right lane, I believe. Copycat gets Magneto. That can actually be kind of cheeky. But we're going to forge left here, or forge right here, and get some left value. We're playing Cassandra on me. Okay. It is interesting that, I guess they're playing a lot of Erisham Mirror, so that's why they have Cassandra too. I'm going to do Shaw. Or let me do Shaw into Hope into Cassandra things. I think that's probably what's going to be best. We do get Nova. They play Vulture. I'm going to play this into Nova. And then I'm going to play Gwenpool on the left. Get some extra value there. Maybe I get a Killmonger or something. But I'm doing this to kind of help my curve out going into all of this. Mockingbird. Go Hope into Nova. I do get Broodlings, so that is good to note. I'm going to do Gwenpool here because I can just go Cassandra into... Or let me do, actually, we're going to go Gwenpool right, and then I can go Cassandra left into like, Surfer. Because I'm thinking like an Erisham or something's coming left. Not Erisham. Alive. Oh, Ajax. Okay, we're just getting crazy out here. Hurt. Okay. So I'm going to do Shaw, Hope, Gwenpool, and then I'm going to Cassandra right into Surfer middle. And this should just be a dub here. Because Cassandra just gets massive on the right. We don't have to worry about anything on the left kind of situation. And if they Aliyah me middle, still not worried about that. They move Vulture over. Shaw. Yep. Shadow King. Jeff. Valentina. They just got cooked. Cooked. Look at that. We just floated the priority there too to save stuff from Shadow King. And just GG's. GG's there.
Victory.
All right, we are into our next game over here, and Copycat just hit Iron Man, which is literally incredible for us. So I'm excited to see how this goes. I think we're facing Hella Tribunal. If I am not mistaken, this is some good old Hella Tribunal. This means this is a snap for me. Honestly, probably shouldn't have played Forge there. And then they magic. We knew that was going to happen. But I get some really good power with the Brutes. I knew magic was coming down. Trust. Thanos and White Tiger. Oh, White Tiger's kind of good, actually. We're not going to play Absorbman here because it's just not great for us. But I will play Nocturne here. Should be solid. They had to float again, which is really, really good. Really, really, really good. And then I go Shaw. They have Red Hulk. I'm gonna go Copycat and Hope Summers.
I am Iron Man.
Hello! So happy!
And then I'm going to go Silver Surfer into Absorbing Man. And it should just be a Dubberonis here for us. This looks really, really good. Really, really good. That's why we snapped a little bit early, but yeah. There we go. Perfect. Two cubes. Two cubes. We didn't snap too early for the copycat value, but they don't have enough power to go more vertical. Headed into our next game over here, not against Airshim. So first two games were freaking against Airshim. Next game was against some Hell Tribunal things. I get to go Nova, middle, and get some extra draws here too. This is awesome. Getting these extra draws is going to help us. I'm not going to go for Clog right now. I'm going to actually go Hope Summers here to get some extra draws because Morag is going to get a little interesting for us. Nakia. Okay, they might be doing some hand boosting things. We get our own Nakia. Ayo. Oh, that's huge, actually. That Rock Slide. I'm going to snap this.
Oh, snap.
Into a Cassandra. Because I get to kind of mess around with whatever I really want to here now. Chavez. Fastos. This is just like all hand buff stuff, it looks like. And then I'm going to go Shaw into Brood. And then I'm going to go Surfer Absorbing Man. And this should just be a dub. Or I can mess around with other things. Yeah, no, I like this actually a lot. Shaw. They go Shaw left. Oh, this is actually like perfect for us. I like this a lot. So then it's Surfer, Absman, and it should just be a Dubberonis here for us. Yeah. Just like that. Just like that. Even with the Makari. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet.
And that's like the other thing I was talking about too. Like you could do the Fastos Makari iteration if you don't have some of these other cards. I don't like the Chavez Okoye action, but solid nonetheless. Ooh, we got the Raft and we got Ultron. We got some Sandman Patriot things. So that's what I'm feeling, either Sandman Patriot or just Sandman. So this is going to be very interesting. Getting to be able to I can't even talk. Getting to be able to play a 3-drop on curve is pretty freaking sick. So we get to play Hope Summers out on curve. Patriot things. So it is either Patriot, Sandman Ultron, or just standard Patriot Ultron. Oh my gosh. This is just disgusting. Okay. I don't have to worry about Ultron, so that's a good thing to keep in mind. I'm going to go Nocturne here. I'm going to 5 energy this next turn. Yeah, it's totally the Sandman thing.
Oh, snap.
They snap me back. I'm going to go Forge into Cassandra here, and then I can go Absorbing Man and my 6-drop kind of thing. Get Giganto, and I can move Giganto to the left, which is going to be sick. Iron Lad hits Brood, hits nothing, and Wasp. And I'm going to go Nocturne, Brood, Absorbing Man, Giganto, and they're going to hit me with a Sandman. Actually, let me do this instead. Let me go Nocturne, Brood, Absorbing Man on the right, and then Giganto here, and then I'll play Surfer middle. There's a Limbo? Oh, boy. I like this still a lot for us. We float this, and Surfer's going to win us the game. Okay, you guys ready? You guys ready? You guys ready?
Doom rules all.
And then we have more power on the right, and we're going to have more power on the left. So this should just be a dub for us here. The Doom is pretty interesting. I wonder what's their 6-drop they're playing. Are they playing a Red Hulk? Are they playing? They can't play an Infinite. They already moved their Jeff. Surfer should just win me the game. I'm adding another 6 power on the right to get to 30. They have to get, yeah, not enough. There we go, baby.